It's been a long 1997. 31 races across 9 months, drivers and teams shaken up, a field of 21 rookies, and a championship battle which has taken major shifts in the final third of the season. And now it can finally come to a close here at a newly configured Atlanta Motor Speedway for the 32nd and final race of the 1997 season. Hello everyone and welcome to the 1997 edition of the NAPA 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia for our final race of what has been a most unique season. I'm Michael Paz alongside Darien Arnsdorff bringing you the coverage. And Darien, we've seen it all. First time winners, dramatic finishes, but the championship is not decided yet. Can you tell us a little bit about what the situation is?
Yes, I can, Michael. It's great to be here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, just south of Atlanta, Georgia. It's been a fantastic season, so much fun all year long, and you see it on your screen here, the championship battle we've been looking at the last few weeks especially, but this is it. This is the finale, the last race of the year. We have finally made it after so long, and we're down to 3 drivers in the championship. Bobby Hamilton started off the year really strong. Only 2 finishes, 30th or worse. In the first 28 races, he won at Bristol, Indianapolis, and Charlotte, along with a stretch of 4 third-place finishes in a row late in the season, which gave him the perfect situation to put him in the points lead and run away with it, at one point getting a 218 lead in the championship. However, he's had some bad luck lately. 35th at Talladega, 41st in North Carolina, almost entirely eliminated the gap. 15th place finish last week at Phoenix put him back on track in the championship, and he leads it by 84 over our man second in the championship, Dale Earnhardt. All Hamilton needs to do here today is get a 19th place finish or better, and he is locked up. He is your 1997 Winston Cup Series champion, but he needs to finish 19th or better here today. On to Dale Earnhardt now. Earnhardt has been the most consistent of the drivers for the most part this year, racking up 12 top 5s through 31 races, but he hasn't had that much luck when it comes to winning races. He has just one win this year at Pocono, way earlier in the season. He has not really had much success in terms of that department since then. He had a slide late in the year of a 27th place at Bristol. Next 5 races, he had 2 more sub-30th place finishes and not 1 top 10. That's what cost him the points lead. However, he has rebounded a little bit these last 4 races and has put him in contention once again. He's a few more points back this week than he was last week, but if Hamilton does have a bad day, like I said, he needs 19 for better. If Hamilton finishes, say, 30th or worse, it could be a massive day for Dale Earnhardt especially, and he could have the chance to get his 8th Winston Cup Series championship here today. And our third man we want to look at before we start this race, you've got Jeff Gordon. Now, Gordon all year long has been mostly a non-factor when it comes to the championship. He's been a top 5 contender all year, but a late resurgence in the championship put him just high enough to be in the fight. He has had the second most amount of top 10s this year of 18, 11 of them coming in the second half of the season. It is an unbelievable amount of consistency that Roush Racing was not expecting out of Gordon this late in the year. They were expecting this in the start of the season, not the end of the season, but it happened nonetheless, and Gordon's back in with a chance. He sits 111 points back from Bobby Hamilton, just 27 behind Dale Earnhardt, so even if the chance to win is a long shot, he still has a chance of getting second in the points, but it's not impossible for him to win this championship. We did a little bit of math earlier in the day, and there is, in fact, a possibility where he can win this championship winning and getting the most laps left. That's 190 points. And you can see, or what I looked at was, if Hamilton finishes this race in 30th place and Earnhardt finishes in 5th, 29 for Hamilton, 4 for Earnhardt, Gordon wins the championship if he wins the race and has the most laps led. So it's not an impossibility for Jeff Gordon to walk out of Atlanta as the champion. And the best part about this for Gordon, granted this is a new track layout, but he did win this race earlier in the year. He won the last race on the old configuration of Atlanta. Can that be an omen for Jeff Gordon to claim another championship here today at Atlanta? As now, Michael, let's go take a look at the track information, as we have a lot to talk about for Atlanta this week, because this is a brand new configuration for the track.
Yes, it is, Darien. Thank you for all that championship information. That is a heck of a lot of info to try to get into such a short amount of time. And that's what we're going to look at now at the track stats for Atlanta today. It's that new configuration, which we've been hearing about all year. We're going to go, the track length goes from 1.522 miles to now 1.54 miles. So it's a little bit bigger. Goes from a regular perfect oval to a quad oval now. The banking is the same in the turns and the straights, but the track is that little bit longer length, and we're expecting higher speeds with the new asphalt, which came with the reconfigure. And we have one more thing to worry about today. It's the temperature. It's cold and it's windy. 40 degrees is the air temperature, and the winds are blowing at 12 miles an hour. So it's a bitter cold here in Georgia today, and these are just more conditions for the plan concerning both the tires and the handling of these cars today, which the teams are going to have to really focus on. But as we mentioned before, Gordon won this race earlier this year, and Bobby Labonte won it in 1996. So who's going to end 1997 on a high note? That's the question we're going to answer today. So we've been looking at Jeff Gordon here.
Yeah, we've had happy hour going in the background just to give us a bit more time to get through everything, because this is a much different style of pre-race show than we're used to. We're putting in so much information because it's not just the championship battle. There's a lot of stuff happening this weekend. As we said, the reconfiguration of Atlanta, the championship battle. There's also a battle for Rookie of the Year. I want to bring this up just for a moment here. 7 place in points. Ron Earnhardt Jr. is ahead of David Green, who's 8th in points, by 93. That is the battle for Rookie of the Year that we're going to be looking at. Granted, it is a 93-point gap, so it's very unlikely that Green does upset Ron Earnhardt Jr. here today, but it is something to look at nonetheless. It is a very important battle to determine who was the best at adapting to everything, the new landscape of NASCAR following the draft that we started out back in January. It's going to be a lot of stuff to look at overall here today, because there's also a battle for 4th in the championship between Derek Cope and Ricky Rudd. That's only a 16-point gap. Ron Earnhardt Jr. can move up to 6 ahead of Morgan Shepherd. That's a 9-point gap. Mark Martin has a chance to move into the top 10 ahead of Dale Jarrett. That's a 72-point gap. And overall, there's just a lot of stuff to look at in points today, because it's not just the championship, even though that's what everyone's going to be focused on. That's what we're going to be focused on for the most part here today. I just don't want to detract from all these other battles in the championship, because they're just equally as important to those teams who are not in this championship fight.
Yeah, he really encapsulated it there. It is a full effort for every team here. You know, no matter how good your team is, whether you're a good team and you've got a lot of backing, or you're just a independent with little to no backing, everybody has their own battles to fight. So even though we're all battling for the win, there is still a lot of other side objectives which these teams are trying to get. I mean, heck, we see Bobby Hamilton here as happy hour starts to wind down. He was there with the 16 and the 88 car, and the 16 and the 88 are basically battling amongst themselves. Lake Speed is basically auditioning for a new ride next year. Mike McLaughlin is getting himself fitted into the 16, which he will take for Roush next year. So everyone has their own battles, which they're all going to have to try to deal with. But as we see happy hour coming to an end, we can take a look at qualifying to see who's got the final pole of 1997, and that is the number 5 of Ron Earnhardt Jr., who's going to start it on pole for us today, alongside the number 21 of Bobby Labonte. Then in row number 2, we're going to see the 73 of Ricky Craven alongside the 94 Ken Schrader. Row number 3, the 33 of Terry Labonte alongside the 31 of John Andretti for RCR. Then in row number 4, the 88 of Lake Speed, who with another good qualifying run, who we were just talking about, and Mike Skinner in the number 11, still yet to lead a lap, trying to lead at least one today. I think that's his sole goal. Then in 9th, Dale Earnhardt with a good qualifying run as he needed, starting 9th alongside the 87 of Joe Nemechek in the 10th position.
We move on to the rest of our top 20 here. Row number 6, we're going to see Derek Cope starting next to Steve Parks. Steve Parks, one of the Rookie of the Year contenders. He's not in the battle for Rookie of the Year, but he's been really good this season, getting 2 wins, so an overall good season for that Hendrick 25 team. Row number 7, we're going to see Jack Sprague and Dale Earnhardt Jr., 2 more Rookie of the Year contenders. They're 12th and 13th in points, respectively. Both of them with 2 wins on the year. Earnhardt Jr. winning last week at North Carolina. Or no, last week at Phoenix, I'm sorry. It's been a long season, okay? He won last week at Phoenix, so he's trying to end off the season on a very high note for him and Hendrick Motorsports. Row number 8, we're going to see Ward Burton and Johnny Benson Jr. Row 9 is Bill Elliott and Mike McLaughlin. Row number 10, look at this. Bobby Hamilton starting this race in 19th place, which is exactly where he needs to finish to lock up the championship with no issues whatsoever to him. He'll be starting in 19th here today. He's starting next to Michael Waltrip in 20th.
Then we'll take a look at the second half of the field. The 29 of Randy LaJoy coming back from that injury. This is about his 3rd or 4th week back, so good to see him doing well, alongside the number 42 of Sterling Marlin. 23rd is Jeff Gordon, in not the best position where he wants to be. He needs to be up in the top 5 all day, and probably likely needs to win this race just to make sure he has a shot to get his championship. He'll be starting next to the number 2 of Dale Jarrett, the other Petty Penske car who's been doing really well this year. Then in 25th, it's the number 4 of Jeff Burton alongside the 99 of Ricky Rudd, one of the Roush cars who's been doing good. Ricky Rudd is 4th in points and likely will finish there at the end of the race today. 27th is the number 9 of Morgan Shepherd alongside the 72 of Kyle Petty, making a start for Noble for the first time in a while, so very good job for that 72 car, able to qualify for it today. And to round out your top 30, it's the number 7 of Ernie Irvin, your Daytona 500 winner, and the number 22, Mark Martin.
And look at the last bit of the field here, the last 13 positions for the final race of the season. Row number 16, we're going to see Tom Bodine starting next to Joe Ruttman. Bodine and Ruttman both trying to make at least a little bit of recovery to end off 1997. Handsome Harry Gant starts in 33rd alongside Ted Musgrave. This will be Harry Gant's last race as a full-time NASCAR Cup Series driver. So good luck to Harry Gant and what will be his final Cup Series race here today. Row number 18 will be Dick Trickle starting next to Elliott Sadler. Row 19 is Rookie of the Year contender David Green. He's 2nd in Rookie of the Year battle. With Hornaday way up the field, it's looking really good for Ron Hornaday to win Rookie of the Year for 1997. And Green will start alongside Mike Bliss in 38th. Row number 20, we see Robbie Gordon starting next to Rusty Wallace. Row 21 is Lyndon Amick and Jarrett Mayfield. And right out of the field, row number 22 is the number 36 of Hermie Sadler.
And we've really got to give a shout out here to Harry Gant for his career, because it's been a really long one. His first race was all the way back in 1973 for Don Levy Racing, and he's had a lot of starts since then. He started going full time around 1979 and has been going pretty well since, so really good chance to finally have his career come to a conclusion.
And I want to point out, just as we've updated the points now to look at the championship battle as it is with how they start. Bobby Hamilton, obviously 19th place is what he needs to win the championship. He leads it by 52 right now over Dale Earnhardt. Then it's 123 back to Jeff Gordon. I will do my best to keep an eye on this all day long, but it's going to be complicated here at Atlanta. We're looking to have a fun race here today. As Michael, engines are fired. Who do we think is going to win the finale here at Atlanta?
I feel like everything is pointing towards the Rookie of the Year, Ron Hornaday, get another win to cap off the year. That's my vote now. Darien, what about you?
I'm looking at the man 2nd in points. I think he's going to be desperate to do this all day long. I'm looking at Dale Earnhardt Sr. to maybe come through and finally get win number 2 of 1997. It's going to be a long shot, but it's 114 laps. Anything can happen here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
This entire season has proven that anything can and will happen, and just when you think you've got it figured out, something else happens. So, a lot of stuff. I mean, it's a cold day here in Atlanta, and we are ready to decide the 1997 season. Here we go in the championship race. That new configurement is we're trying to see how everyone is just trying to figure out how their cars are going to race through it so far. And right now, it's the number 5 Ron Hornaday Jr. lead. It's out of the head of 73 of Ricky Craven. They battle side by side for third. Looks like right behind them, Terry Labonte on the inside of Ken Schrader.
Labonte already trying to move up as we might have 3 wide in the back for 5th place. Yes, we do. Dale Earnhardt on the inside of Lake Speed and Bobby Labonte can't quite get the run he wanted. Well, Earnhardt's already making big moves as we have a lot of 3-wide racing there at the bottom half of the top 10, top half of the top 20.
Yeah, that's a lot of cars, and they're trying to get themselves situated right now, and they are picking up speed very quickly here. Like we said, the asphalt came with the new asphalt came with the repavement, and we are running some very brisk laps right now. We're on lap 3, and the average speed is already 191 miles an hour.
It's going to be a quick day here in Atlanta for sure. Average speed to be expected around 199 miles an hour, barring a caution or anything along those lines. So we could be looking at a very, very quick race, despite the fact it's 114 laps here today. Jeff Gordon down the inside gets past Bobby Hamilton, and is going to try and make up some spots in the race to hopefully challenge for the championship. Gordon's already up into the top 15. But he needs to recover a bit more than that if he wants to have a chance come the end of this race. As Jeff Gordon's up Dale Earnhardt's up into 7th place in the 43 car.
The good news for both of them is that Bobby Hamilton has been falling back. He has been on the outside, lost a couple positions. The outside has not been as strong in early runnings, and he has fallen to 20th. It looks like he's going to lose 2 more spots potentially if he gets up into the high lane right there. There goes the 9 and the 18 right past him, and a couple more cars.
That's really bad for Hamilton, already down to 24th place then. Might even lose a bit more. That puts the gap in the championship down to 29 points. However, a lot can change rolling on lap number 5 as we have a new man in 2nd place. The 94, Ken Schrader up into 2nd, ahead of Ricky Craven.
Let's bounce up there to the front as we see a 3-wide battle that we caught on the way there. Lake Speed battling with the 33 of Terry Labonte and Bobby Labonte. It's got a Labonte sandwich right there. Looks like the 21 is going to prevail, maybe for now, and yes, he will. So 33 gets well on the outside, loses several spots. And up front here, the 94 of Ken Schrader, leading Ricky Craven and trailing the number 5 of Ron Hornaday.
Still early on, though, so you don't need to get too aggressive if you're one of these 3, because you already got a 1-second lead over Bobby Labonte, who's in 4th place, so you got really no need to rush. And forgot to mention this during pre-race, but we have the pit window expected to be around lap 58 to 61, I believe it to be. So this should be a one-stop race, barring some shenanigans, but knowing us, shenanigans are almost guaranteed at this point.
We can neither confirm nor deny the shenanigans at this point, I would say.
I think the correct answer is we can obviously confirm it, Michael.
Well, there's one more thing that we didn't touch on. In Happy Hour, the fastest car was the 36 of Hermie Sadler, but in qualifying, Sadler was the slowest of the qualifiers. He's in 39th right now, about 5 seconds off the pace. As these 3 have started to break away a little bit, there's Ricky Craven. This is going to give us an example of this kind of one-on-one battles we're going to see later on in the race. Craven tried to look to the inside of the 94 and nothing to it yet. Was not able to get enough of a run. He's going to try again. Coming out of turn 4, through the quad oval, down the front stretch. And he might be able to get a run going into turns 1 and 2 here.
Yeah, Craven sent it in a little bit out of turn 4, but just can't quite that run through turn 1. But out of turn 2, he's trying to get a little bit of advantage. Can't quite get that as we see a battle for 6th place between Dale Sr. and Steve Park in the back, I'm sorry. So, Gordon, God! I just thought back to when we started this season so long ago. We made that joke about us having the counter of how many times we would mess up driver and team combinations this season. And that counter just started rising very quickly here in Atlanta, but it's been a long season. Give me some slack. Battle for 5th potentially on the cards, though, between Lake Speed and Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah, Earnhardt's been actually able to make his way up through the field pretty easily so far. Unlike what we were seeing with Craven. Craven is having a bit of trouble Senior is having a little of that trouble trying to get to the inside of the 88. He's going to look for help from the guy he just passed, Steve Park. See what Park does. He's got either car to go with. One on the outside, one on the inside. He's going to help the car on the inside. Can two best one in this case through the corner? It looks like maybe, or Steve Park's going to try to go his own way, make it 3 wide.
Park gonna get a bit ambitious down into turn number 1 on the inside line. Gets past the 88 of Lake Speed, who falls on back. Here comes the 31 of Andretti. 43 of Earnhardt gonna get the run on the outside line out of turn number 2 and keep 5th place. And that puts, as of my notes, puts him 20 points behind Bobby Hamilton for the championship. I don't know where Hamilton is running right now, however, as still a long way to go though. 102 laps to go. 101 to go, sorry.
Yeah, I think right now, though, everyone is thinking, if you can't give it up right now, don't give it up, because you start letting one position go, then you let another, and I think everyone's just worried that they're going to let whatever chance they have to get the guy ahead of them, those chances are just going to slide away if they continue to let out spots. So, according to the racer's mentality, don't give up a spot, as the 25 continues to battle with Dale Earnhardt.
And Earnhardt's going to fall way back there on the outside line. So might allow John Andretti an opening to try and go for 6th place, as we have a battle up front. Bobby Labonte has caught the top 3 for that battle. Labonte and Craven might be going at it for 3rd place here soon enough.
Everyone's getting a little bit strung out right now, so these top 4 are trying to break away. We've got about a gap of almost 1.5 seconds between 1st and 5th. There's a 21, Bobby Labonte, looking for a position on Ricky Craven in that Pontiac. And not able to yet. Passing is a little bit more difficult up here at the front. And these cold temperatures and the winds, I think, are starting to affect these guys a little bit. It's a little bit more difficult to make some of these passes.
Craven's trying to make a move there on the 94 of Schrader, but yeah, that inside line's just not very strong, it seems, to start this race. We're not exactly expecting that here today. They were making some pretty good moves in practice, I think, Michael.
Yeah, this is a very unique situation, because I don't think we've had a race that's gotten this cold before, and it's really affecting the grip levels on the track and who's able to make the better lane. As we saw Steve Park, he tried to look to the inside. There's a 43 instead. Earnhardt now side by side with the 25, looking for help from his teammate, the number 2, Dale Jarrett.
And I just saw a bit farther back, I saw Jeff Gordon in 11th place. So he's making some solid progress, but he really needs to make a lot quicker progress, as we have 3 wide here for 5th place. Here comes Dale Jarrett in the 2, inside of Earnhardt and Park.
There they go, through almost 185 through the corner. And as they come down the straightaway, that Senior's pulling 204 miles an hour on the outside there. Trying to get some sort of a run on his teammate who just passed him. Looks like he will not be able to get the position, though, unfortunately. Now there's more cars tailing. The 31, the 1, the 4, Jeff Burton, and the 6 to Jeff Gordon. And the one thing about the championship battle here, Darien, is that while there's, of course, the gap to Hamilton, the battle for 2nd is a lot closer. I believe, if I recall correctly, there was just 27 points separating Earnhardt and Gordon at the beginning of this race.
That is correct, Michael. They are 27 points separated at the start, but we're in the race now. You can't really look at that too hard now. As of my notes, 6 and 11 for Earnhardt Gordon. Gordon would be about 52 points behind Dale Earnhardt, as we have the battle for 6th place with Steve Park and Dale Earnhardt. And that's going to move Gordon... That's going to move Earnhardt back a little bit, but not as bad. I don't know why I'm messing that up so badly today. It's
because we've subjected you to the notepad. And our apologies, but the viewers do appreciate your efforts, so it is not in vain As we take a look here, this is 12 cars now essentially in this lead group, and they are a good distance ahead. That is a full set, almost 2 seconds between them and the guys in 13th and 14th. That's Randy LaJoy who's leading the second group actually.
See Bobby Hamilton in this pack as well. He's listed as 20th place, which obviously as of right now is enough to win the title. He's up by 37 over Dale Earnhardt, but he is on that inside line, so he's going to try and make up a bit more time. Boy, that inside line's been really struggling to start off this race.
Oh, look at that, the 42. Almost was kind of... He slowed up a little bit. Everyone got stacked up behind him.
You got this massive pack here. If Hamilton gets forced outside, this is going to be a massive issue for that 10 car. But that's if anyone can ever catch him to make that move.
It's a really unique situation right now that we're kind of seeing, is that it's the fastest lane that everyone wants to race is just underneath the engine. It's just a little bit above the outside, but not when you're racing side by side. That's when the outside is actually more preferred. When you have a situation like that, you gotta think like, well then where do you want to race most of the time?
Yeah, it's a very weird, very strange set of circumstances, but that's kind of what you get when you come to a brand new configuration like Atlanta Motor Speedway is having this year.
Oh, look at
let's
this
go
move.
take a look at. Oh, he's 3 wide. Here we go.
Hamilton's
trying to make. Yeah, he's trying to make that move, but it's just not worked out. I was trying to move up to 17th place, but not working out right now for that 10 car. As you see the 88 Lake Speed trying to go for 20th. Let's try and get a view back up at the front as I see Jeff Gordon's falling down to the 12th place behind David Green. And we have a new race leader. It's Dale Jarrett. We've missed that.
Jarrett able to get the lead from the 5. Schrader in 3rd. Then it's Earnhardt in 4th.
So despite Earnhardt making progress with Hamilton in 19th right now, doesn't change anything for the championship. It brings him down to 30 points down, but he needs to be a few points up to win the championship, and that's not exactly possible when Hamilton's running right where he needs to be to clinch the title. So you know he's not exactly stressed out right now. He's worried, but he's not stressed because he's in the top 20. As Earnhardt's going to look for 3rd place on Ken Schrader.
Ooh, look at that. Schrader was getting a little bit loose up there. That's what allowed the 43 to come side by side with him. Yeah, the outside lane, it can be faster at times, but it leaves your car a lot more loose. Which is throwing people off, and what allows Dale Earnhardt to get to 3rd past the 94 car there. And look at that speed. Average of 200 miles an hour flat for the number 2 car.
Yeah, that is... We were expecting faster speeds, but I don't think everyone was expecting this fast of speeds here at Atlanta Motor Speedway this weekend. So, very, very quick, as we're already finished up with lap number 30 of 114. We're only about 15 minutes into this race, and we're 30 laps down, Michael.
Yeah, things are happening really quick, and again, it's kind of showing that, like, even when you think there's a lot of time, you know, we just saw 30 laps go right out the window there in less than 20 minutes, so now I think everyone's I think the thing next now is focusing on what adjustments do you need to make on your pit stop once we get there around lap 60 or so, and is that going to be enough? Because basically you're gonna have one shot to fix your car, assuming we go green all the way. So if there's any issues now, you got to try to identify them and get them taken care of, hopefully during that pit stop.
Yeah, it's something you really got to start thinking about right now, especially when you're about 25, 30 laps away from that cycle, like you said. So it's a situation where you need to be paying attention to what's in front of you. You also need to be looking at your car, be like, what's going to help me out the most right here? Is it just tires? Do I need to change the wedge? Do I need to change the jack bar or anything like that to try and help me out? Try and get a little bit of advantage on everyone around me. As we see a battle for 10th place there between David Green and John Andretti. But Green can't quite get a run. Jeff Gordon right behind the 24, trying to push him along in the 6. Gordon's trying to make progress, but that 6 car has stagnated.
It's amazing. The entire season, we've seen him around. We've seen the 6 and the 24 together, which is really funny considering that that Jeff Gordon used to drive that 24 car last year for the draft. Now, here they are once again together, trying to get around the 31 of John Andretti, and joining the fight with this group is the 29 of Randy LaJoie, who's made his way past that second group and up to this lead group.
Yeah, LaJoie's been really quick here today. It's been honestly kind of surprising. That car we haven't really seen have a lot of speed this season, as he's now going to look to the inside of Jeff Gordon. Yeah, that 29 car, it's been decent in other points, but LaJoie, he did miss a few races. He's only down in 42nd in points, but he does have 2 top 5s along with 3 top 10s. So he's had a decent season, all things considered, for Diamond Ridge. It's been a very strong season for that team overall. They've just been highly unlucky at times with someone like Lyndon Amick, for example.
Yeah, it's been a bad luck, as we were talking about Amick. He's only had 2 finishes in the top 20. The rest have all been out for some unfortunate reason or another, usually. I think back to his race at Indianapolis when he had to make that late pit stop that cost him a chance at getting a top 5. And Randy LaJoie here, his strong suit has been like these short tracks and then the mile tracks, so he's doing pretty well right now at this 1.5 miles. So I think LaJoie is slowly getting there to where he can start putting up some good finishes. And honestly, considering the fact he got second last week, I'm a little bit excited for next year, assuming he stays at Diamond Ridge.
Most definitely. I assume that he would stay there because that team has been extremely strong with LaJoie and Amick, so I doubt they're going to look to make many changes over the off-season. As you see, the gap for the race lead has gone way up. It's now up to almost 3/4 of a second over Ron Hornaday Jr. Dale Jarrett has pulled away a little bit here in the later stages of this run.
This is something we've just kind of seen with Dale Jarrett in general, that every time he leads the race, he always leads by a good margin. Saw this at Michigan, I believe it was Michigan, where he ended up winning by over 5 seconds. So that part isn't too far out of it, but he's also this is the first time that we've had such a gap form today. And we're seeing everybody is really strung out. Heck, even even the lead group here is starting to split into 2. There's about 7-8 cars here, and then John Andretti in 10th leads this second pack of around 5 cars before you get back to everybody else. But so far, only one car, the 43rd place, Kyle Petty, is 15 seconds behind, and it's 27-second lap around here.
Yeah, so there's a chance we could see lap traffic come into play eventually in this race, but probably not before that first pit cycle. As here we go again, battle for second place. Ron Hornaday Jr. and Dale Earnhardt Sr. And Earnhardt just could not get a run there on the bottom through turn 1. That 5 car is really good at defending right now, and they've closed in the gap quite a bit.
Now, Earnhardt was able to close into the 5 out of the exit of the corner on the inside. He got to his back bumper, but not enough to get a run just yet. And I think if that's the kind of move that's happening to Earnhardt, then it's kind of telling a little bit as to what's happening with the rest of the field. Earnhardt's going to look a little bit more to the outside, trying to get more to the outside. He got a little bit better run. He's able to stay with the 5, but not enough to go and make the pass just yet. But if there's a guy to figure out the way to passing people, it's Earnhardt. And here he goes to the inside, trying once again.
He's trying his best to get past that 5 car, but that 5 car's done a fantastic job at defending. And again, you see that inside line is just so weak in this late run. He's still trying to get there to the 5, but again, just can't get the run. And Hornaday stays in second place.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes to like try to... It seems like passing on the outside would be the better option, but we've seen guys go to the outside and they lose positions. So it's a really hard place right now because these guys are getting really good at positioning their cars so they can defend their positions. But the 43 is closing, but so is the 94, Ken Schrader.
3 cars under a blanket here, bound for second place, lap 45 of 114. Could this be a big hit to Dale Earnhardt's championship hopes? He's going to keep looking for second place on Hornaday. Going to need the help from the 94, but that 94 is not any closer now.
Yeah, it's just the 5 is so strong on the exit through turn 1 compared to the 43 and the 94. All the 5 has to do is keep hogging that lane.
I want to note that Jeff Gordon's up in 10th place, 4 seconds off the lead, but it's not exactly going to help as Hamilton's still in 19th place, so he is good in terms of the championship, but Earnhardt's still trying his best, just can't quite get an easy run on that 5 car. He's been trying it for like the last 4 or 5 laps, and it's the same result every time with Ron Hornaday.
Yeah, Earnhardt looking to the outside a little bit this time, trying a different lane, see if that can work for him. He's got a little bit of a run, might get a better run here through on the front stretch. Able to stay with him pretty well that time.
I mean, it's just, the gap's now extended to over a second back to Dale Jarrett, and as long as this is happening, Earnhardt really doesn't have a chance to go and challenge for lead to get those bonus points that he desperately needs in this championship battle.
Yeah, he needs at least those 5 bonus points, I feel like. You know, even if whatever the result is, that 5 bonus points I feel like are going to be very valuable to him. As we're approaching now lap 50, Senior is still trailing behind the 5 car. He's been trying every single lane possible. But it is not easy to pass right now today.
It feels like I'm watching the definition of insanity, but wait, it's actually working this time! Wait a minute! I take back what I said! Earnhardt's back there! He's right side by side of the 5 down the back straightaway! Can he have a run through 3 and 4? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. No! This is insanity! There is no way! He finally got side by side of the 5 down the back, and it still didn't work out! Gap now 1.5 seconds to Dale Jarrett. Gordon's up to 9th place.
And everyone is just really strung out right now. There's Jeff Burton in 7th. He is 4 seconds off the leader. 4.5. With Jack Sprague.
Yeah, Michael, we're about 25 minutes into this race now, and almost at pit cycles. We're about 6 or 8 laps away from the pit stops, so it's about to be time. What very well could be the last pit stops of the 1997 season.
And that one, I think, is going to be one of the biggest tellings of how this race is going to go from here on out. Because as we're getting into the late run, it's looking like it's really difficult to try to put on a pass.
I mean, the 43 is still trying, but it's obviously not working.
There were actually a couple of critics for the new configurement of this track. Dale Earnhardt and Johnny Benson Jr. were 2 of them. Earnhardt currently in 3rd. Benson was, it's a good question, actually. There he is in 26th. And yeah, if you're running in 26th, I can understand why you would be critical of this track.
I think the bigger thing about the criticism of the track is that the fact they did it mid-season. They switched the configuration mid-season. You had the Pill Oval where we started off, where Jeff Gordon got his win this year, and then they switched it to a quad oval similar to what you see at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and it has definitely changed a lot of things about this track, but I feel like if they switch it in the off-season between 97 and 98, no one would really care that much. But doing it mid-season, I could definitely see why a lot of drivers were a bit upset.
Yeah, mid-season changes have usually not really gone in anyone's favor. The one time we had is when we had to make an emergency shift over to Willow Springs Raceway rather than Sonoma. Willow Springs turned out to be a very fine road course. Unless your name is Bill Elliott.
Look, he became a very highly prestigious honorary member of the U.S. Space Force, so don't worry about that. Anyway, Earnhardt's still trying to just do anything as we battle for 4th place between Ken Schrader and Bobby Labonte, but I have a feeling we're going to see the exact same. Yeah, Schrader on the outside line just pulls away. As we are on lap 57, pit stops imminent, as we might see the 21 come in this time by, actually, and the 5, and the 2. Earnhardt's gonna lead this lap, Michael!
There's your 5 bonus points for Dale.
Well, that's convenient.
As now pit stops have started. And I think for some of them, they couldn't come soon enough. Let's see what they are. We're going to get updated in a few seconds what everyone's thinking right now. Looks like Senior himself's going to come in this time.
You've got the bonus points now. Come into the pits. I don't know if the 10 is in. The 6 is still out there. He may be pitting this time. Yes, the 6 is coming in. Where's the 10? I think the 10 is coming in.
All 3 of them have the same idea. 14 seconds. So it's full service here. 4 tires, fuel, and any adjustment you need to hopefully get around somebody.
Ken Schrader now the current leader ahead of Steve Park. Then it's Jeff Burton, Jack Sprague, and David Green, the top 5. But we are under pin cycle. Here they come. Jeff Burton will take the lead ahead of Jack Sprague. So we are on lap 60 of 114. 55 laps to go here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And pit cycles are ongoing.
There's our 2 leaders, the 4 and the 1. They should be coming in last. Oh, the late hitters.
Does seem like it. Here they come. The 42 is staying out. Sterling Marlin will stay on the racetrack.
Catch up with Sterling here.
Lap number 61, and I believe he's the only one to stay out this long. Because the fuel window is 64 laps, it's the tires that are wearing out sooner. So, because as you can tell, Marlin is about 1.5 seconds slower than his fastest lap.
And now we'll be coming in.
Yep, so there goes the 42. That'll be the last of the pit stops. You saw Dale Jarrett there. I don't know where he'll come out in relative to the 43. Or even just the 43. Oh, 5.5 seconds back!
Here's the group.
Oh my goodness! Gordon! Gordon detected. He's up to 5th place on the road, I believe.
Should be coming out to 5th once they get everything cycled out, but my goodness, Dale Jarrett figured out something on his pit stop, because there he goes.
Yeah, 4.2 seconds, 4.3 seconds ahead.
Now our next question, where's Bobby Hamilton? Listed in 17th.
Gonna move up to 16th here, I believe, ahead of the 42. So it'll be 16th, 4th, and 5th.
Fuel system failure on the 27 car, Dick Trickle.
Uh-oh. Is he gonna make it back around?
He's on the backstretch.
He's limping it. He's limping it. Down to 55. Down to 45.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's not gonna make it. Michael!
It's happened again.
Oh no, bro! You have got to be kidding me! It has happened again! It's not during the pit cycle, thankfully it's after the pit cycle, but the caution is out here at Atlanta Motor Speedway with 51 laps to go!
I thought we were going to see lap traffic. No, I don't think we are. And actually, the 9 car fell down 3 laps from that pit stop. He had an issue with... he's still on pit road.
There's something happened with the 9 car. Not sure. We'll try and figure that out eventually. But we are under caution on lap number 64, now lap 65. 50 laps to go in the 1997 Winston Cup Series season. You won't want to miss this. It's the season finale of the Draft Series. Come on back and see how we end up.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 1997 and our 2003 Draft Series here at Atlanta for the final race of the season. We're going to be going back green lap number 68. It is Dale Jarrett leading, then Bobby Labonte, Dale Earnhardt, Ron Hornaday Jr., and Jeff Gordon, your top 5. Bobby Hamilton, your points leader, 15th in points. That's enough for a championship if he stays where he is. We're going to have 2 lap cars on the inside, the 9 and the 27, who brought out the most recent caution. And Darien, we only got so many more laps. Is it just going to be a sprint from here on out?
It's going to be 47 laps to go, so it's not exactly a sprint per se, but it's going to feel like it to those guys in the championship battle. Earnhardt, Gordon, and Hamilton, they're desperately going to need to move as quickly as humanly possible. As here we go, pace cars in. We'll be going back green momentarily.
Let's see how they do this time. We already got cars trying to move before we even get to the start-finish line. Let's see how fast the 9 and the 27 are. Right now, Jarrett not... The 9 clears the 2. That's good news for Bobby Labonte.
Here comes the 6. From 5th to 3rd.
He's trying to push the 27 along. And they're 3 wide.
Oh my goodness, that forces Earnhardt out.
Here's Jeff
Gordon.
Oh my
goodness.
Up to 3rd.
What in the world?
There's Earnhardt on the outside of the 24 car. David Green, they are side by side. 94 Ken Schrader. Looks like he might get put 3 wide by the 24 car.
Oh.
Almost was. Earnhardt's battling back, though. And there's David Green now trying to make it 3 wide again.
Earnhardt gets clear, though, and will remain in 4th place. That is a big break. If he got stuck on the outside of 3 wide, that could have been horrible for the 43 team.
And up front, the 21 and the 6, they've not been able to get past Dale Jarrett just yet. But there's Gordon trying to take advantage of the fresh tires. Make a move on the inside of the 21 car.
Oh, forces him high.
Gordon's going to be able to stay side by side.
He's got to send it in turn number 3 here. He wants to have a shot at this. He does. And he gets clear. Jeff Gordon up into 2nd place.
That was a great clearance there for the number 6. The 43 is going to try to do the same. He's got a couple of cars behind him. The 27's a little bit quicker than I think we expected. And actually, the 27 tried to force the 43 up into a higher lane.
I want to point out here, the 7 car is up into 10th place. Actually up to 9th place now. And I think Hamilton's up to 12th.
He is right behind them all.
So Hamilton is going above and beyond right now to win this championship. He is currently up by about 46 points over Dale Earnhardt. So as of right now, Hamilton is going to walk out of here with his first Cup title as he moves up into 11th place, 3 wide ahead of them for 7th place. Or 6th place, sorry.
24 in the 1, battling side by side. David Green on the outside, Jack Sprague on the inside.
Oh, that's 5th place. I'm even more confused. Battle for lead, here comes Gordon!
Gordon on the inside of Jarrett. Out of turn 4, can Gordon clear the 2? Not yet. They're going to drag race it down to the line. And that was Jarrett. By 6 1/1000ths.
Gordon really needed that lap led. I think it's almost out of... I think he's out of time to get most laps led at this point, Michael, but I could be wrong.
I don't even know if he can lead the most laps. So he got the 43 right on his tail.
.43 needs to get past that 2 car right now. And the 10 is up into 10th place.
Yeah, all this might be for naught if the 10's already going to be up here anyway. However, if the 10 falls back for any reason, then that will be for the championship for the 6 and the 43.
Right now, the gap between the 6 and the 43 is about 12 points. So, right now, Gordon needs Earnhardt to fall back as Trickle's looking to the inside on him. Well, when I meant fall back, I don't think I was expecting that exactly.
Yeah, I don't think getting passed by Dick Trickle was on Dale Earnhardt's bingo card. Or anybody's, for that matter. I don't think it was even on Dick Trickle's bingo card.
I don't think anyone saw this coming this season. Championship finale, Dale Earnhardt. Battle for the championship, he's getting passed by Dick Trickle. Granted, not for position. That would be horrifying, but it's not helping Earnhardt at all.
Yeah, and that gap's going to be forming now. It's the 6 and the 2 who are just going to be able to drive a little bit away. Earnhardt 3rd, Jack Sprague in 4th, just got around Bobby Labonte. Got a couple of orange and reds here. That is Steve Park, David Green, Ernie Irvin, and Bobby Hamilton.
Yeah, that's the color of the day, it seems, here in Atlanta. Despite the fact this is the NAPA 500. You'd think it would be blue and yellow, but that really seems to be the case here today. And I'm just seeing this 12th place. I see the 30 of Rusty Wallace up here.
Really good run for that number 30 car, Bahari. Especially needs it after the last few weeks he's had. He's only had 1 top 15. Then the last 2 races have been below 30th, a 32nd and a 35th, most recently at Phoenix. So, 12th place. Take that.
And it does starting to get into that area of the run where it seems like it's going to be a bit more difficult to make a pass. We're about 10 laps into this green flag run, 10-15. And it does seem like it's starting to be an issue for some of these guys.
Here's Elliott Sadler we're looking at right now in the number 82. He missed last week at Phoenix, but just a few weeks before that he got a top 5 in Martinsville. And a shout out to the second Wood Brothers car here, teammate to the 21 who's been battling up there in the top 10 all day.
I'd like to point out Jack Sprague's putting the pressure on Dale Earnhardt for 3rd place.
Oh yeah, look at that. Jack Sprague looking to the inside of Dale Earnhardt. And there's a lot of 2 wide racing right behind them. Bobby Labonte just trying to get past the 27 of Dick Trickle.
You know all this is happening. Oops, sorry.
Oh. It's all good. Just pointing out Jeff Burton in the top 5.
He's been doing rather good here today as well. You see two Hendrick cars side by side, Park and Green. And the 30 of Rusty Wallace has moved past the championship leader, Bobby Hamilton, for 10th place.
Hamilton up on the outside there. Almost out of line, but he's able to hold it steady wheel. But now the 98 of Bill Elliott is slowly tracking them down. You said there was something you wanted to point out, Darien?
Well, I was initially going to point out that Dale Jarrett was pounding Jeff Gordon a little bit, but now it seems like the 43 is starting to close a little bit more. For second place, it seems like things are starting to change. The run's going on here. And Dale Jarrett and Jeff Gordon are not as quick compared to the 43.
Yeah, 43's got two cars with him, helping him along. And they have closed right back into the leaders. Gordon not able to get out as much of a gap as Jarrett was when he was leading, so you got these 5 cars under here. This is your lead group in essence, getting a good gap over 6th place Bobby Labonte.
As time ticks down, it's starting to feel more and more like it's really starting to set into me, at least now, that this is finally coming to an end. We're only about 30 laps away from calling this season done, Michael. We've been working on this for a long time.
It really has, and it doesn't feel like it's set in yet. That's the funny thing. It's like you keep expecting, like, oh yeah, we're gonna have another race next week. No, we're not. It's gonna be a while. We're gonna have the next thing we're gonna have is a whole draft.
Yeah, we're probably not, because we're at mid-November right now. We're probably not gonna be back into race mode until January, February. It's gonna take us a hot minute. So, just what you do, You got a whole lot of stuff to work on in the off season. 25 laps to go until we get there, though, as Hamilton's back into the top 10. 25 laps away from being crowned champion of 1997.
And I mean, he's put up such a consistency run, it's kind of hard to... It's kind of hard to argue against him being champion, because it's been a really good set of runs. I mean, 4 third-place finishes in a row kind of encapsulates how consistent he's been. He's got that win at Indianapolis. He's got that win at Charlotte. He's got one at Bristol. Just having 3 wins on the year. Really good for that number 10 car.
Battle for second might be on in just a moment there. With the 43 and the 2, they are right close together. The 4 has got past the 1. And everyone's still trying to chase down Jeff Gordon for the lead. Spurt's going to look for third. Can't quite get there.
We saw this a little bit during the first run, actually, that the more second and third battle, the farther the 6 is able to get away. So Senior or Jarrett, somebody's got to give, I think, if they want to go and catch the number 6 car. Because Jarrett is not playing the role of teammate right now.
Yeah, you'd think if you're on the radio in the 43 or the 2, you're trying to tell that 2 to get out of the way, try and get Earnhardt that extra spot, but he's not listening right now, I can tell you that much.
Take a look, see if anyone's fallen off here. It looks like no. The farthest car back is about 9 seconds. Shawnee Benson Jr. He's here with Mike Skinner and Mike Bliss at the tail end of the field. And then the 9, who's been able to maintain this, who's actually been pulling away from the leaders. And then here's your leaders, and we've seen Dick Trickle at the back half of this group, so we're likely not going to run into any lap traffic today.
Hamilton up into 9th place in the 10 car. extends the championship lead down to 52 points over Dale Earnhardt Jr. and 64 over Jeff Gordon. So Earnhardt again trying to get second from the 2 car. He's just not able to get a very good run. We're at that point. Moss want to make a move.
Yeah, the four got a better run on the 43 that time around. He's actually getting a better run through turns 1 and 2.
Oh, goodness. Battle for third here. This is unexpected, I think. Burton's giving a huge amount of pressure to the 43. And Burton trying to surge ahead on the inside line. They're still side by side.
Yeah, he pulls with him, but he's not able to clear him through the corner. We saw the 6 was able to do that earlier, but that time around the 4 did not have it. And it looks like he's under fire now from the 1.
Sprague's using that outside line to his advantage.
Yeah, Sprague with help from the 27. Look at that, he's going to get a good run through turn number 4. And he's going to get ahead of the 4 car for now. And clear him. So the outside lane is the more preferred one here. So we get into this long run. But the question is, how much to the outside are these guys willing to go? There's Earnhardt trying to make the inside work once again. But once again, nothing of it.
Almost at the end. Next time by, it'll be 15 laps to go. Hamilton up into 8th place. And barring something catastrophic happening, it really does feel like at number 10, we'll be walking out of here with the Winston Cup Series championship.
Be Bobby Hamilton's first championship.
And, Michael, this was a year where we thought it was all Jeff Gordon. We thought it was Gordon or Cope who were going to win it the entire season to start us off. It wasn't until we got to the fall of Hamilton, We say like the summer of Gordon, stuff like that all the time in the past, but the fall of Bobby Hamilton, the autumn, the fall, whatever you want to call it, was just unbelievable. To the point, like we mentioned at the start of the show, he was up by 218 points. These last couple races have not been that great, but it doesn't matter in the end because he had such a massive points gap after that incredible stretch of races to start off the auto.
And I think that kind of tells you everything, that he's had enough of a gap to where he can afford to be able to have bad races like that. I mean, when Earnhardt had his bad races, that one put him well behind the mark. And he just has not been able to recover from that. That was that 35th place in New Hampshire, 32nd at Martinsville. And
I want to note that Rusty Wallace is up here really quickly. Rusty Wallace and Ernie Irvin up here 6 and 7. Really good job for both of them here today. Sorry, continue on.
Oh, yeah. And definitely credit to Ernie Irvin and bookend the season with 2 top 10s if he's able to stay up here in 7th position. Not a win, but still he has one win the Daytona 500, and you can ride that train of momentum the entire year, and that's kind of what Ernie Irvin's done. He's 17th in points right now. It's not the greatest, but it's still pretty respectable for the situation which the 7 car has found himself in so far.
Burton's still trying to get third from Dale Earnhardt, but once again, nothing doing there. So we move on down to 10 laps to go. It's starting to feel like we're going to finish out pretty much like this. At least that's what it feels like. It probably won't. It might not, but it feels like it might.
This is gonna be a really interesting challenge that these guys are gonna have to figure out. Is how do you get enough of a run on the inside? How do you battle these grip challenges? How do you do all that to try to get around people? Because right now, it's a mighty difficult task. And look at that, there's a 43. He's going to lose a spot here on the inside to the 4 of Jeff Burton. Burton's going to go with the 2. Try to drive on by. There's another spot might lose. There's the 1 of Jack Sprague. 30 of Rusty Wallace there as well.
That's horrible for Dale Earnhardt. Obviously, it probably doesn't matter at this point, but that doesn't feel good when you lose 3rd place like that. Battle for 2nd now between Burton and Jarrett.
Oh, look at that.
And Burton with a good run.
Burton's been one of the few guys who's made the inside work so far. Look at that. He's going to get help from the 43, maybe into 2nd position. They are side by side.
Wow. He actually did it. A pass on the inside, and here comes Rusty Wallace. Rusty Wallace up to 4th place ahead of Dale Earnhardt.
Rusty's looking for 3rd now.
Unbelievable stuff out of the 30 car. Where was this speed all season?
It's a good question they've been asking. But it's here right now. Enjoy it, I would say, as it looks like he might be able to clear the 2 on the inside, but the 2 still battling back pretty strongly. But that time around, 30's into the podium.
4 is closed in dramatically on the 6. There could be a battle for the lead brewing here with 6 laps to go. I take back what I said about 5 laps ago.
Might not be for the championship, but there is still a race here. Yeah, Jeff Burton is he's been the quiet guy of the year. You just you expect him to do decent, but then no, he'll just decide to show up and win. He's won at Richmond. He's won at Martinsville. He won at Texas earlier this year.
Yeah, he's got 3 wins this season. He's looking for a series-leading 4th win. There are multiple drivers tied on 3 wins. Burton's trying to be the only one this year to hit 4. But he has to get past the 6 to do it, with 4 laps to go.
He seemed to figure out this track pretty well, so there's a little bit of hope there. But also closing in is the 30 of Rusty Wallace.
Oh my goodness. Jeremy Mayfield has entered the top 10, Michael. Here we go for the lead. Jeff Burton to the inside. Here we go. 3 laps to go in 1996. And Gordon gets clear into turn 1.
I'll see what the 4 and the 30 do. If they battle amongst themselves, that's not going to help either of them. But here they go. Rusty Wallace to the inside of the 4, looking for 2nd position.
Well, could this help Burton? Because we know that outside's been very strong. 2 laps to go as they get to the line. And Burton is still there.
Burton now right up to the back bumper of the number 6.
Caution on the speedway! Caution on the speedway! This won the race!
The caution is out.
Caution's out! That's gonna end the whole season! And then turn to the white flag! Here comes Burton! Gonna look to make a move! The smoke's on the front stretch! It's not gonna matter! Jeff Gordon's gonna win the season finale! Bobby Hamilton has won the 1990 NASCAR Winston Cup Series Championship!
It was the 31. John Andretti had a tire go down.
We'll look at a replay in just a moment as they come around turn 4 to make it official. Unbelievable. Jeff Gordon did literally all he could, and he will take the win in this race. But it's not going to matter. 8th place, Bobby Hamilton has enough, and he is the Winston Cup Series champion. Unbelievable.
And Jeff Burton looked like he was about to have a shot. And then the caution came out. So We'll take a look back at that in just a minute. But for now, with the race complete, Bobby Hamilton and the Tide Ride are going to have their first championship.
Unbelievable stuff for Bobby Hamilton. What a fantastic season all year long for that 10 team. Ends up with 3 wins, 12 top 5s, 20 top 10s, 27 top 20s, 175 laps left, nowhere near the most, but absolutely fantastic season. He killed him with consistency, Michael. What can you say?
That was absolute consistency, exactly what you need here for this whole season, and he did exactly what he needed to. So great job there for Bobby Hamilton, denying Dale Earnhardt his 8th championship and denying a second for Jeff Gordon.
See Sterling Marlin in the pits. It's believed. I believe he is one of the drivers involved in that incident with John Andretti. We'll go back and take a look right now.
Here's John Andretti. This is where the tire goes out. It just goes out and hard impact with the 88. Elliott Sadler involved.
Goodness. I think Marlin made contact with the 88. Yeah, there's a 42.
There he is, goes spinning in the corner.
What in the world? That was a massive hit to Lake Speed. That is not good.
Yeah, on board here with the 88 car. This one hurt.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh!
Oh! Hey.
That was a lot more violent than I thought it was going to be.
How fast was he going when he hit the 31?
Let's slow this down. This is going to take a minute. Let's see. 178 miles an hour. And John Andretti at that time was down to just 116.
And I wanted to see how fast Marlin was going when he hit the 88. My God, that was violent.
Into the catch fence he went.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that is unbelievable.
At full speed. Oh my goodness.
How fast was the 42 going there? I don't know if Lake's going to be okay after that.
Let's slow it down frame by frame. He clips 3 other cars, and Marlin, when he's coming in, he barrels in about 170 miles an hour, gets it slowed down to 160 before the impact. Meanwhile, Lake Speed had just come to a crawl at about 10 miles an hour before the impact, which sent him through the air, spinning like a football, into the catch fence, and up and over one more time for coming to a rest there.
Yeah, and I don't think they've gotten Speed out of the car yet, either. That is a violent wreck. You can do nothing but pray for Lake Speed in that moment. On board the 42 Sterling Marlin.
See, it just comes out of nowhere. And he comes to rest there on the front stretch, right in front of pit road.
That is a horrible way to end the season, just for everyone involved.
Yeah, look at that. He was still going, and then this was well before they got to the caution flag. And it doesn't look like a lot from Sterling's point of view, but as we saw from Lake Speed's, that was vicious.
Yeah, obviously no one did anything wrong there. It's a part of the rule book that you do race back to the caution flag, but... Man, if it isn't unpopular, you know?
Yeah, that was the worst case scenario for what could happen for the 31 to have it there at that time. So we're going to actually take a quick break and we'll be back for to finish out the end of the season right after this. We come back here to an empty track at Atlanta Motor Speedway where the 1997 season has concluded, and we've got a couple of updates. Lake Speed, who we saw in that violent crash at the end of the race, somehow made it through. He was beaten, he was battered, but he got out of the car. That was amazing to witness, to say the least.
Yeah, he got out of the car mostly under his own power. He was assisted out by a couple of trackside officials. And he was taken to a local hospital here in the Atlanta area just for confirmation. But yeah, somehow, some way, he is completely fine. Doctors may have found a little bit of a bruise on him, but nothing that's going to keep him out of action for any significant amount of time, thankfully. So thank goodness for that. Lake Speed, we'll see you at Daytona, hopefully, more than likely.
And with the confirmation of safety from Lake Speed, now I believe we can focus on the championship. The fact that Bobby Hamilton has his first career championship. Jeff Gordon swept Atlanta.
Yeah, and like that's I apologize for not catching that during the actual broadcast, but yeah, Jeff Gordon has won both races at Atlanta Motor Speedway in 1997. Unbelievable for him, but it's not enough for him to take second in the championship. He comes up 2 points behind Dale Earnhardt in the end. On that front, Bobby Hamilton wins the title by 71, ahead of Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon 73 back, Ricky Rudd 238 back, and Derek Cope 272 back. So, yeah, just honestly rather shocking on that regard from Jeff Gordon that despite winning the race, he was so good all day long. He just didn't get the bonus points for leading the most laps, I believe, and that's what cost him in the end.
Yeah, the bonus points went to Dale Jarrett on that one, but still, I think the Roush team has a lot to be proud of there because remember, they already knew that they were long shots. They were 111 points back. They made up some gap, but they still, in the end, finished third. That is podium on the championship. Really good job for that Roush number 6 for honestly what got off to a pretty rocky start from bouncing back and forth between finishes outside the top 25 and top 10s. With a little bit more consistency now, got some good stuff to lean on. Both them and the entire Roush organization, because they're gonna because Gordon's gonna have teammates. He's got the up and coming Mike McLaughlin. He's got Ricky Rudd. Roush is looking pretty solid for next year.
Yeah, most definitely. I want to point out some other stats that I find interesting. The best average finish this season was Bobby Hamilton, to no surprise, I feel. 11.88. He came into this race with 12.0 on the average finish and ends with his average finish just below 12, 11.88. Dale Earnhardt, 12.31. Jeff Gordon, 12.66. And some other stats that we want to point out. Mike Skinner, Michael.
Well, he finished 21st on the year, so unfortunately, the statistic that has held since 1984 will not be broken, but still, 21st position, not a single lap led. That's a rather dubious distinguishment.
Yeah, that's not a stat line you expected to see coming into this season, because when we came into this, we were expecting a lot of parity, I feel, like, between just the entire field, but I mean, we did kind of get that. No driver had more than 3 wins, and in fact, 5 drivers ended the season on 3 wins. A lot of drivers ended on 2. I believe anywhere between 6 and 8 drivers got 2 wins this year, Michael. So,
Yeah, and one of those guys to get 3 wins is the Rookie of the Year winner, Ron Hornaday Jr. for Hendrick Motorsports.
Yeah, I want to give huge props to Ron Hornaday Jr., just Hendrick Motorsports in general. Fantastic season considering they have four rookies, you know? Like, four rookies in a team theoretically should go absolutely horrendously, but it actually worked out rather well for them, all things considered. 6 in points for Ron Hornaday Jr., 9 for David Green, 13 for Dale Jr., 13th for Steve Park. All their drivers, aside from David Green, ended up getting a win this season. And aside from David Green, the other three drivers, Hornaday, Park, and Earnhardt, they each had multiple wins. Hornaday with 3, Park and Earnhardt both with 2.
Yeah, David Green, the lone one out of Hendrick Motorsports he did not get a win, but going into the second year at Hendrick Motorsports, I find it very unlikely that the winless column is going to stay winless for long for that number 24 car. Then we also want to give shout out to the non-Hendrick rookie who's here. Jack Sprague finished 12th in the standings, just behind his teammate Mark Martin. These two Pontiacs outside of Dale Earnhardt were the lead Pontiacs of the year. And Sprague proved himself very well on the plate races, getting 1 win at Daytona and 1 at Talladega.
Yeah, Sprague coming from the Craftsman Truck Series, you wouldn't have really expected that from him, especially considering the Craftsman Trucks, they don't race at Daytona or Talladega, so they basically run the short tracks, the 1.5-mile tracks. It's pretty much the biggest they go. But Sprague did a fantastic job getting acclimatized to those big tracks, and it worked out extremely well for him and for Bill Davis Racing, and they have a driver that they can look to in the future, especially with Mark Martin alongside him, a highly experienced. So Bill Davis Racing is looking really good in the future, I believe.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are really looking forward next year, and I honestly think that, with guys like Petty Penske, Roush, Hendrick, Bill Davis, we got a lot of teams here who I think are going to be, now that they've got themselves settled in, when we head to 1998, we're going to see, I think, a lot more teams battle for the championship, and it may not be as easy for Hamilton next year as finishing 19th. But with that, I believe we've touched on everything that we could do, Darien, and we're finally at the end.
Well, let's not get to results because we haven't really taken a moment to acknowledge what happened today at Atlanta, We haven't given props to everyone who finished really good today. Jeff Gordon, like we mentioned, getting his second win of the year sweeping Atlanta. Jeff Burton, a fantastic run, second place, almost had the win at the very end. Rusty Wallace, that's an incredible run for that 30 team. That car has been so off all year long. Bahari Racing to start 40th place here today, make up 37 spots, and finish in third place is nothing short of a miracle for Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, that's a great run for him. Jeremy Mayfield as well. Mayfield was well down in the back half of the field through most of the race. Suddenly he pops up, finishes 9th. Great run there for Mayfield. He's got add another top 10 to his season. Looking for better results at Darwell next year.
Another thing I want to touch up on before we end off the 1997 season, we're going to break kayfabe a little bit here because I did this back at Indianapolis when we had to go on a long break because Michael had to do an internship away from home. But I just want to take a moment and say thank you to everyone who's watched alongside on YouTube and in the Discord server. As of recording this, it is November 18th, 2025. We got started on January 1st, 2024 is when we started preparing for this. So it's been nearly 2 years for us to get everything sorted out. We've had to work on so much stuff just in both of our personal lives as well. Michael's been making huge progress. He graduated college, has a job now. And yeah, I'm just so glad to be alongside you, Michael, and to finally be able to call this a success. This has been unbelievable just all year long, and I want to thank you so much for allowing this crazy idea of mine that I had to really come to life and show it off in a way like this.
And I want to say thank you to you, Darien, for not only those kind words, but also just the fact that you've stuck with me through this. I know a lot of times I have ideas and they don't get very far or they just go off the rails, but you let me go ahead and take care of this brainchild of yours and put it into the product that we have now. And it's something that's hopefully done very well for both you and me on just advancing, how to get better at these things, commentary, graphics, editing, and a lot of management, communication, talking with people, like how much stuff we've learned over this last 2 years doing this silly little racing series in a game that is almost as old as I am. I think it is old. It's close to how old I am, which take that as you will.
But yeah, it's just been that, like I said, this is an idea I came up with 4 years ago after watching a YouTube video, someone doing this for Formula One. And I was like, I want to do that, but with NASCAR. I took it, we ran with it, and starting in the 2015 season, we ran with that for about 4 or 5 seasons. We got through that, and we realized we aren't having fun with this anymore. Let's try this again. Let's do this with 1997. We don't really do a lot of stuff with the older cars, and we've done that this time, and in my mind, this is the most fun that I've had with NR in a long time, because I was out of it at the end of the original run, the draft series, if you remember rightly, but this has brought it back for me, and I've had so much fun doing this alongside you.
It's been absolutely great, man. I wouldn't have it any other way, because I know that's been happening on my end. I've been trying to prepare for 1998 as much as I can. But to do that, you have to finish a season. And we finally finished that season. And I want to say, on behalf of both Darien and me, thank all of you guys watching. I know it's a small crowd sometimes, but seriously, having people tuning in along with this and just kind of seeing who's going and people are following along with the season as much as we are, it's a great thing to feel. That's the simplest way to put it. But Darien, I think we've covered everything.
I believe we have, and the only thing left to do is let's get ready for 1998, Michael. We have a lot of work prepared.
Yes, we do. We've got a whole nother draft. Get everything ready. Hopefully present to you a continuous graphics package, one that stays the same for a while. And that will be for 1998 in the second edition of the draft series. But that will do it for here. For Darien Arnsdorff, I'm Michael Paz. This is the conclusion of the 1997 NR2003 draft series. We will see you all in 1998. So long from Atlanta. Bye-bye.